Germany, I think, got the most money. Well, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through this article, and we're gonna see what's what. Because I have to admit, I'm gonna admit that I only know the. I am familiar with surface level stuff when it comes to this, but I am interested in this topic because Poland really got a low. Government and opposition blame each other after Poland gets only 0.4% of EU ammo spending. And I did the comparison with Hungary because Hungary is not overall supporting Ukraine, but Hungary, I would say, did not get all that much either. Hungary got more than Poland, but it did not get a staggering amount of money either. We'll see. We'll see if the Czech Republic. I'm going to try to. If this article doesn't do a breakdown of which country got how much money, then I'm going to find it and see how much the Czech Republic got. Poland's main opposition party, Law and Justice, has criticized the government after it was announced that Polish firms will receive only 0.4% of the EU's newly announced spending package for boosting ammunition production. So this is in particular for ammunition production, which apparently Poland right now sucks at. However, the government has pointed out that applications for funding from the program were made last year when the Law and Justice Party was in power. Their arguments have been echoed by the chief of staff of President Andrzej Duda, who is normally a Law and Justice ally. Poland is the gloomiest country in Europe. Basically, you could say, once again, that the situation that we have found ourselves in is another legacy of the Law and Justice Party. It seems like whatever the Law and Justice Party touched, it turned into a mess by fumbling the application process for funds. Because, and it doesn't surprise me in the slightest, by the way, because the Law and Justice Party was a huge anti-European Union party, you know? The Law and Justice Party floated the idea of leaving the European Union altogether. Like, it caused the funds to be blocked for Poland, the rebuilding funds or something. So it does not surprise me in the slightest that the Law and Justice Party would fumble when it comes to that sort of thing. Timo Pesonen, a better, faster, stronger EU defense industry with 1.1 billion euro R&D projects, 500 million euro ammunition production, 310 million common defense procurement. Oh yeah, fake Alec Kyle Parker is the new editor. Fake Alec Kyle Parker is the new editor. Welcome, our new editor. On Friday, the European Commission announced that it was allocating 500 million euro to increase ammunition production in the bloc. However, of 31 projects that will be funded under the scheme, only one worth 2.1 million will be carried out by a Polish firm. That outcome was criticized by Mariusz Błaszczak, deputy leader of Law and Justice, who served as defense minister from 2018 until last year. Donald, King of Europe, Tusk, arranged for Poland an entire 0.42% of the EU ammunition production program, tweeted Błaszczak sarcastically, referring to the current prime minister. He noted that German firms had received 85 million and Hungarian ones 27 million, which is, you gotta admit, that 2.1 million euro versus 27 million euro is a bit of a huge difference, right? 27 to 2.1. Thank you for the tier 1, fake Alec Kyle Parker. However, in response to Błaszczak's tweet, the Defense Ministry's current spokesman Janusz Sejmej noted that applications for the EU ammunition program were submitted under the former Law and Justice government. We have exactly as many grants for ammunition production as you left behind, wrote Sejmej. Of the 3 Polish companies that applied to the program, the fact that only one got it should be a cause of shame for you. Błaszczak's successor as head of the ministry, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, told TV station Polsat News that applications for the program had already closed when the current government took office in December, and after that, unfortunately, there is not much that can be done. He added that they would apply for further rounds of such funding in future and try to learn from the mistakes of our predecessors. State Assets Minister Boris Budka called for Błaszczak and other firms from the Law and Justice to face trial for their neglect in securing the financing. So it is as always, it seems like the Law and Justice Party just messed it all up. They just failed to secure any funding for Poland. That's it. It just seems like Hungary is just better at securing funding for itself than the Law and Justice Party was. Well, it was hard for the European Union to make any other decision if Poland failed to even properly apply for the funding. You know, it was like, how were we supposed to give you any more? You didn't apply for more. You just applied for this much, so we gave you this much. What do you want from us? Like, this is a case. This isn't even a case of European Union deciding arbitrarily to give Poland less. This is a case of the Law and Justice Party just not even properly applying for more, which is pretty sad and pathetic. Didn't Jarosław Kaczynski say that he was gonna turn Warsaw into the second Budapest? Like, you can criticize Orban all you want, but he can secure funding for Hungary. And the Law and Justice Party just cannot say the same, it seems. The Law and Justice Party just fumbled time and time again when it came to securing funding. It just depended on the Polish economy doing well. Like, Poland just happens, actually, yeah, I will say it. Poland just happens to be lucky that it's bigger than Hungary. So Hungary has to be smarter than Poland, I suppose, when it comes to applying for funds. And it is. Even if you cannot like the guy in charge of Hungary, it doesn't change that fact, at least. That it's better at securing funding. Which I guess is at the core of politics of Orban, securing funding from one source or the other. Artillery production. I have to look into this. I have to look into the Polish artillery shell production. I do see. Have to. That is pretty significant, especially for Ukraine. Ukraine does need 155 millimeter shells. Yeah. In response, Błaszczak confirmed that the applications had been submitted under the Law and Justice government, but noted that the entire procedure for awarding grants was carried out when Poland was ruled by the current coalition. The accusation that we submitted applications from too few companies is wrong, because, for example, the Hungarians received almost 30 million to be divided among 3 arms companies, he added. However, Deputy Defense Minister Cezary Tomczyk accused Błaszczak of spreading disinformation. He noted that the 3 Polish firms that applied for the program only requested a combined 11 million, and that one of them had done so without even having a relevant contract with Błaszczak's defense ministry. There you have it. There you have it. Incompetence. Speaking today, Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski also claimed that one of the Polish applications was submitted to the wrong program. Come on, Poland. I mean, at this point, it's like crying over spilt milk, because the Law and Justice Party is not even in power anymore. They're out. And it's not like you can undo the damage that they've done, but it is still pretty unfortunate. Let me just say that. Oh, let's take a look. Like, it's pretty... It is frustrating. It is frustrating that incompetence is the main reason why Poland just got 2.1 million. Record contract for 155 ammunition for the Polish army. Threats from January 3rd. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this. This is very interesting. Speaking to Polsat News on Sunday, Marcin um, Mastalerek, chief of staff to President Andrzej Duda, appeared to endorse the current government's arguments. We couldn't get as much as the Hungarians because we only applied for 11 million. Sometimes you have to admit your mistake and stop talking nonsense about the Germans, said Mastalerek in response to a law and justice politician appearing alongside him who has accused the EU of distributing money to German factories. We are seeing the situation. Okay, this is where we are at, because it is very important not to frame this as. It is very important to frame this correctly, okay? Because this is not just the European Union arbitrarily giving Hungary more, giving Poland less. No, this is actually the Law and Justice Party not applying for more correctly, and then the Law and Justice Party trying to frame it as the European Union arbitrarily giving more to Germany, Hungary, and less to Poland. Does that make sense? We need to be careful about this, because this can easily be turned into some weird anti-European Union. President Duda is normally aligned with the Law and Justice. When Duda does not align with Law and Justice, you fucked up. You fucked up. I'm not even gonna censor my. I'm not gonna mince words. If Duda, the Law and Justice president, does not agree with Law and Justice, you fucked up. So President Duda is normally aligned with the Law and Justice and has often clashed with Tusk's new government, though they have shown a united front when it comes to defense policy. President Andrzej Duda and Prime Minister Donald Tusk have jointly visited the White House for a meeting with Joe Biden to mark the 25th anniversary of Poland joining NATO in 1999. The talks focused on security, in particular support for Ukraine. And that is basically it. That is basically it for the article. So, to sort of do a little bit of a recap, the Law and Justice Party last year did not apply for enough money, which, as a result, Poland is getting a measly 2.1 million for manufacturing of ammunition. Law and Justice is angry and blames the current government and the European Union, of course, because Law and Justice Party likes to blame European Union for everything. It says that the European Union favors Germany and Hungary for that matter, which is absolutely not the case. The countries have been given the amounts of money that they have applied for, and since Poland was not apparently capable of applying for more, it simply did not get more. I'm pretty sure Poland actually did send some howitzers to Ukraine. Okay, let's go here. Oh yeah, by the way, if you've enjoyed this segment, if you've enjoyed listening to me talk about this particular topic, then give it a like, give it a sub, give it a bell. Law and Justice. True. The Law and Justice Party. Right. I mean, small arms are not insignificant. Small arms are pretty significant. Even if it does not seem so right now in the conflict. Like, small arms, especially at the beginning of the invasion, were pretty significant. They lost a bit of their significance when the war shifted to trench warfare. Then, now it became a lot more artillery focused, but small arms are not insignificant nevertheless. So there's this article now that I want to take a look at. Karasu has linked it. How old is this? Oh wow. Now we're really getting into discussing Poland's manufacturing capabilities. Okay. The order awarded to Poland's state-owned PGZ group by the armament agency and worth 2.75 billion is the largest awarded to date for artillery ammunition. It covers 300,000 rounds, which will be delivered by 2029. Oh God! Wait, but this is not manufacturing, isn't it? No, this is this is not manufacturing. This is Poland bought this ammunition from. Okay, let's just read the article. Everything will be made clear. Let's not make assumptions. I'm just gonna read the article and let's see where this goes. Warsaw, on December 22nd, the PGZ Amunicja Consortium and the Armament Agency concluded an exclusive agreement for the supply of nearly 300,000 pieces of 155mm artillery ammunition implemented under the National Ammunition Reserve Program. This is a historical contract both in terms of the size of the order and its value of nearly 11 billion zlotys, $2.75 billion. I'm gonna return to your question, Greater Range. I'm just gonna focus on this article first and other things, and then I'm gonna answer your question, okay? I am going to answer. The signed document is a consequence of the framework agreement concluded on June 1st regarding the deliveries of up to 1 million pieces of ammunition of various types and calibers for the needs of the Polish army by 2029. The conclusion of the framework agreement was the beginning of the change in the method of contracting ammunition supplies by the Armament Agency, which allowed the companies belonging to the PGZ Amunicja Consortium to plan the long-term production cycle and plans to further increase production capacity. Thanks to this, the PGZ ammunition domain, the only entity with such diversified competences on the Polish market, will supply the army with ammunition in annual quantities exceeding the volume of all orders received from the army in the last 10 years. Okay, so it is manufacturing. A Polish ammunition company is supposed to produce and deliver 300,000 pieces between 2024 and 2029, which, I don't know, 300,000 in 5 years. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know. I'm not happy with this. Maybe my demands, maybe my expectations are just too big, but I'm not super happy with this. The ammunition domain of the Polska Grupa Zbrojeniowa is the largest and proven domestic supplier of ammunition and munitions for the Polish army. Thanks to recent investments in infrastructure, production lines, and increased employment, we have been able to significantly increase our production capacity. This is our response to the needs of the ammunition market, reported both by the Polish army and foreign contractors. I mean, there should be more production and sending shells to Ukraine, if you ask me. Thanks to our actions, we can meet this demand. This is largely due to all people involved in planning the development of companies and those directly involved in production. On the occasion of this historic agreement, they deserve special thanks for the titanic work that made this success possible, said Sebastian Chwałek, I assume there's a typo here, president of the management board of PGZ SA, which means Spółka Akcyjna. A signed contract for the supply of nearly 300,000 pieces is not the first contract for 155mm ammunition carried out by the companies of the PGZ Capital Group for the needs of the Polish army. In 2022, ammunition companies completed the implementation of the previous multi-year contract for the production of ammunition of this caliber concluded by ZM Desamet SA in 2019. The PGZ Amunicja Consortium, to which this order is being placed, was established on April 28, 2023, due to the expected invitations to negotiations by the Armament Agency for the supply of large caliber ammunition in such a short time since its establishment. It has confirmed its competences and is ready to absorb funds from the National Ammunition Reserve to increase production capacity. During this period, several conditions were met. The competences of the companies were confirmed, and the distribution of production in several places at the PGZ Group plants will meet the expectations regarding the diversification of production locations, necessary not only due to the need to increase production potential, but also for safety reasons. The consortium hopes that in the coming months, further contracts will be concluded, not only for 155 caliber ammunition, but also for 120 millimeter mortar and tank ammunition. PGZ Amunicja is the only entity in Poland that can fulfill such orders using its own production potential. This is actually significant. This is actually really significant. So I guess this is good. Cooperation with foreign partners will of course be necessary, like in the field of modular cargo technology, in addition to support in deliveries, which will guarantee the expansion of production potential in Poland. The potential created within the state-owned company is a guarantee of supplies and systematic support for the armed forces, which is important for the country's security. And of course, again, being right now the country that is right next to the country that is fighting a war, if Poland can somehow if Poland can sort of step up when it comes to the manufacturing of artillery shells, then it could potentially manufacture them and quickly deliver them to Ukraine for use. That would be the ideal scenario, wouldn't it? If, like, there has been talk between Ukraine and Poland about Poland becoming this hub of manufacturing for the purpose of the war in Ukraine. So that is good news. But we've got more. We've got some more stuff. Here we go. How does the weapon and ammunition manufacturing in Poland industry perform across Europe? So, number one, you have France, which is very sad considering how low the aid. You will excuse me that I will look at all of this through the lens of Ukraine, but Ukraine is, at the end of the day, Ukraine is the country that is fighting the war. Ukraine is actually the country that actually needs the shells, the ammunition. So the fact that France is number one when it comes to manufacturing weapons and ammunition, and yet gives so little aid, just disappoints me immensely. Germany is second, as expected. Italy third. I must admit I did not exactly see this coming. Sweden, Belgium, Austria, Spain, Poland eighth, which is, I gotta say, not bad. All things considered, not bad. 8th place. Bulgaria, Czechia, Finland, Slovakia, Portugal, Greece, Hungary, 15th place. Slovenia, Cyprus, Latvia. Okay, I gotta say, is actually doing pretty well for itself. Sweden produces its own airplanes. I told you Poland. I mean, Poland is important not just because of its current capability. That is important. But Poland is actually, at least in the current geopolitical situation, important because of its placement on the map. Like, if Poland can manufacture ammunition fairly quickly, then it just really becomes this produce, deliver, produce, deliver, produce, deliver. Poland really then does become this sort of hub of delivering ammunition really quickly. So that becomes really like, especially since Ukraine needs ammunition really fast now, right? Like, even if France, like when France, that is, I guess, simple logistics, right? If France creates ammunition, it still has to deliver them from here to here. And if Poland creates ammunition, it's just from here to here, much quicker. Weapon and ammunition manufacturing in Poland. Weapon and ammunition manufacturing in Europe. Interesting. In 2021, Poland has been ahead of Europe when it comes to. That is so. Wow. Poland apparently did really well in 2020, between 2021 and 2022 when it comes to weapons and ammunition manufacturing, unless I'm reading something wrong here. Slovakia is also next door. Yeah, but Slovakia has a really big anti-Ukraine bent right now because of the uh, because of how it did in the election. Slovakia has just sort of two things going against it: the fact that it has lower manufacturing capability than Poland, and the fact that Slovakia is extremely anti-Ukraine right now. Slovakian new government is extremely anti-Ukraine. I'm pretty sure Slovakia has said some really crazy things about Ukraine, about the invasion, about the war. It's just, yeah. Slovakia just really bad turn. I was really worried about Slovakia when the elections were happening. And it turns out that my worries were warranted. I'm just happy that, like, consider this. Poland was beginning to be quite anti Ukraine in its own right, with the Law and Justice Party sort of trying to pander to its anti Ukraine voter base. So imagine if Law and Justice won here, Slovakia here, and Hungary here. That would have been a pretty bad situation in which Hungary blocked aid for its own sort of interests. Slovakia is pretty anti Ukrainian, and I'm not sure what the policy of Law and Justice would be had it won the parliamentary election. Right? So I'm glad. I'm glad that Poland sort of turned around Slovakia. But Slovakia has also quite lower capability than Poland when it comes to manufacturing. The Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is not that much lower than Poland when it comes to the ammunition industry. Plus, the Czech Republic is showing very big initiative when it comes to trying to get ammunition from third-party sources to just outright buy ammunition and send it to Ukraine. So the Czech Republic has been very, very good on that front. Like, the Czech Republic not only sort of does manufacturing, but the Czech Republic also is showing big initiative in just outright buying ammunition from outside of the EU and sending it to Ukraine, which is, by the way, what the EU should be doing simultaneously, increasing its production capability as well as buying ammunition from the outside and sending it to Ukraine right now. The European Union is absolutely capable of doing that. I honestly don't know how the situation has changed at that front. But when my grandfather was alive, the one that uh, my mom's father, I remember him. That was so many years ago. That was years before he died. When he told me that the Czech Republic, economically speaking, is in a far better sort of standing than Poland. That the Czech Republic is actually sort of doing better than Poland when it comes to a lot of things. Oh, yeah. After all, we'll remember that the Czechoslovakian weapons manufacturing is what Hitler aimed for. That is why Hitler annexed Czechoslovakia to begin with, to get the Skoda factories, which were the greatest in Europe, you know? The Skoda factories were the greatest sort of, well, like, weapons factories. I'm pretty sure, yeah, tanks in Europe at the time, which is why Hitler so desperately wanted them, because that is what he sorely lacked. And once he got it, he was basically primed to prepare for war. Which, again, technically speaking, means that simply Poland allying with Czechoslovakia against the aggression of Germany might have possibly halted Germany's sort of preparation for war. Now they used to be mostly known for tanks, and now Skoda is mostly known for cars, if I'm not mistaken. Skoda has been sort of, nowadays they're a lot more known for their cars. Czechoslovakia sent planes to Israel. The Sakin, which was a complete piece of garbage, but that's all that was available to the IDF. I think there was some problem with the balancing, if I remember, with the engine that wasn't. I have to look it up. But yeah, there was like a problem with these planes, because some of them would quite frankly just nosedive into the ground because of some weird imbalance. Karasu, I assume you've missed the Timothy Snyder bit. Have you missed the Timothy Snyder, how should I call it, segment? Maybe later. November 2023. It's not super new, but it's also not super old, this article. Northrop Grumman is considering the production of 120mm tank ammunition in Poland to support the increased defense production capacity of the U.S. ally, according to CEO Kathy J. Warden reported the statement on Thursday. Northrop Grumman CEO Kathy J. Warden stated, "We're looking at co-production opportunities for 120. While the talks are advanced, the company is still in the process of identifying suitable industrial partners and contract structures. The consideration is due to the fact that countries geographically close to Russia, such as Poland, Finland, and Germany, are exploring deals to manufacture U.S. weapons in Europe. This includes negotiating new arms deals, expediting existing contracts, and reevaluating the required munitions volume in light of the war in Ukraine." Poland, in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year, has committed to a significant increase in defense spending, aiming to allocate 4% of its gross domestic product to defense and double the size of its army. Last year, Poland agreed to acquire more than 360 Abrams tanks from the United States. Meanwhile, Poland's Mesko, part of the state-owned PGZ Armaments Group, is in the final stages of negotiating the deal, according to the ammunition maker's deputy chief executive Przemysław Kowalczuk. The deal is expected to boost Mesko's production of 120mm ammunition to a minimum of 50,000 to 70,000 rounds annually from the current several thousand. Warden emphasized Northrop's intention to expand its European business, not only in Poland but also in other nations with similar product lines. She stated, "Germany, Norway, we already have a significant presence in the UK today. We have a presence in Italy and France, so really a broad-based European business. Prior to the announcement of such intentions, Congressman Josh Gottheimer invested in the defense firm back on September 26, when the stock closed at the price share of 426.58. Since this trade, the stock has surged nearly 9% in value.